Hello, and now we'll see experiment number 16, that is write an assembly language program using procedure. Till now we are working on the assembly language programming and we don't know about how to write a procedure. We know how to write a block and how to call those blocks repeatedly, or depending on the instruction how to call those block, okay, by calling that name of the block. But here we are writing procedure same way as that we write a block. We have to write procedure here, but the difference between calling a block and calling the procedure is the change in stack segment memory, or push operation pop operation perform during calling the procedure and returning the control from the procedure. Okay, so procedure means what? The group of instruction which are written for specific task. If those instructions are written in one block and that block will be represented as a procedure, okay, then we can call that procedure multiple times, or the time when we require, when we need that procedure, we call that particular procedure. Okay, and then whenever we call that procedure, the control of the program is transferred to the first instruction which is written in the procedure definition. We are writing the one by one instruction in that procedure. Okay, and then to create procedure we will use program directives. Two directives we will use. One is proc to start the definition of a procedure, and one is endp to end the definition of the procedure. How to call procedure? We will use different instruction. To call the procedure we will use call instruction. We will use call instruction. Call then procedure name. Call then procedure name. There are two types of a procedure. One is near procedure, or we can say intra segment procedure, and other is far procedure. Other name for that is inter segment procedure. What is intra segment procedure? If the procedure that we call, if that procedure is defined in the same code segment, then that procedure is called as a intra segment procedure or near procedure. If the procedure that we call is outside or away from the segment from where we call the procedure, if that procedure is defined in the other code segment, then that procedure is called as a far procedure or inter segment procedure. So one question may come in your mind is, what is the difference between block and procedure then? Yes, the difference between calling a block and calling procedure is, when we call a block, only change in the IP. Only change in IP. We will not store current value of IP to anywhere in the memory. Just IP value will get changed. IP will store the address of the block which we called. Okay, which we called. That is the concept of calling the block. But what happened when we call a procedure? Listen carefully. When we call a procedure, we know that IP will store the address of the next instruction to be executed. So instead of store executing next instruction, our program will execute the first instruction which we write in the procedure definition. So after this, whatever instruction that we write in the procedure definition will get executed sequentially. And when we execute ret, before we end our procedure, we need to write ret instruction. So when we execute RET instruction, then control will be resumed or retransfer to the location from where procedure has been called. From where the procedure has been called. So we need to just take a value of IP which we should retransfer to the or we need to set the IP value its previous value to that IP register, and when we call procedure its current value means the address of the next instruction to be executed. That value of IP should be stored somewhere in the memory, and that memory where we store the value of IP temporary, that memory is called as a stack memory. We are going to store value of IP in the stack memory. So we know that stack operation is performed by two operation push pop. For storing purpose we will use push operation. So stack pointer that is top of the stack will get decrement by 2. So initially if stack pointer is at 0 location, then it will get decrement by 2. It will get decrement by 2 by push operation, which will be performed automatically, and the value of IP, which is the current value of IP, will be stored in a stack memory. Now which is the new value of IP? The new value of IP will be the address of the first instruction in the procedure. Address of the first instruction in the procedure. So when IP will get its original value? IP will get its original value when procedure get terminated, or when the control of the procedure is transferred from procedure to the location from where procedure has called. So the instruction after call will be in a waiting stage. They have to wait unless and until procedure get completely executed. When procedure get completely executed, control will be retransferred to those instructions which are pending, which are still waiting for their turn to be get executed, and they will get executed when RET get executed in the procedure. So just remind these sentences. When we execute call, means call to the procedure, there will be change in the IP, and that original value of IP should be regained after some time. So for that purpose we need to store the value of IP in the stack memory. So we need to decrement stack pointer by 2. So if initially when stack is empty, stack pointer is at 0 location, and when we perform push operation, then stack pointer will be decrement by 2. Okay. So what about other procedure, that is inter segment, the procedure defined in other code segment? When we define inter segment procedure, then there are two values which need to be stored in a stack memory. The two values are, one is IP by obvious, and other is code segment register, CS register. Because when we call a procedure which is outside of the current code segment, then we need to change value of CS. Now CS will point to the code segment in which procedure is defined. So we have to perform two push operation, one is for CS and one is for IP. So stack pointer will be decrement by 4, and when we perform RET instruction in the for procedure, then stack pointer again will get increment by 4, because we have to perform pop operation. We need to regain original value of IP and assign that value to IP. We need to regain value of CS and assign it to CS register. So for that purpose, we will need to perform push operation, two push operations, so that stack pointer will get increment by 4. Listen carefully. So which are the directives used for procedure? I have already repeated, but just remind it. PROC to start the definition of procedure, and NP to end the procedure. Before ending the procedure, we need to write one more instruction, that is RET. I have written the syntax here. Procedure name, PROC, near oblique far. If you don't write anything near or far, then procedure is treated as a near procedure. And then code within the procedure, then RET instruction, then procedure name space NP to end the procedure. How to call procedure? Call space procedure name, and if the procedure is far type, then call space far PTR space procedure name. Okay, see one example of a procedure. Here we call one intra segment or near procedure because there is nothing far PTR like that. Call PROC1. So control is transfer, stack pointer will get decrement by 2, and control is transferred to the first instruction in the procedure 1, PROC1. This instruction will get executed. When we execute RET, then pop operation will perform. Pop operation will get performed, and stack pointer again get increment by 2, and IP value get its original value, and the instruction after call will get executed. What is that instruction? JMP exit, jump to exit block in exit block. Very simple. Now the question is how to write far procedure. Here you can see call far PTR PROC1 PROC2. Far PTR means what? We need to means automatically IP and CS value will be stored in the stack memory. So stack pointer will be decrement by 4. I have written this comment here because I have written after semicolon, so that will be the comment. So after this call, control is transferred to the first instruction in the procedure. Now here in the code segment, in this code segment, CS register is pointing to code 2 segment. In this code segment, CS register is pointing to code 1 segment. So in this procedure, CS and IP will get changed. Their original values will be stored in the stack memory temporarily. Okay, and stack pointer get decrement by 4. When we come in the procedure, procedure will get executed instruction within the procedure. Then when we execute RET instruction, then IP and CS get their original values which were stored in a stack memory. And after that, after getting their values, stack pointer will be increment by 4 to when first push pop operation perform, and again increment by 2 when second pop operation is performed. So when we execute RET, control will be retransferred, and whatever instruction which are after call will get executed. Okay. Now this is the procedure for addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. This question is asked in the manual. I have taken a num1 num2, and we have to perform addition, store the value in A. Subtraction, we have to store the value in S. Multiplication, we have to store value in M. And for division, we will store the value in, remainder will be stored in R, and quotient will be stored in Q. Okay. So call PROC1, procedure 1 get called, that is for addition. Call PROC2, procedure for subtraction. Call PROC3, procedure for multiplication. Call PROC4 for procedure for division. All are intra segment procedure. So every time when we execute call instruction, IP value will get changed. IP value will be stored in a stack memory. Stack pointer get decrement by 2, and when we execute RET, again stack pointer get increment by 2, and IP will get its original value which were stored in stack memory. See procedure 4, procedure for division. Num1 will be transferred to AL. Then 8-bit multiplication we cannot perform directly. We need to convert 8-bit data in AL into 16-bit data. For that purpose, we need to execute which instruction? CBW. Then divide num1 by num2, and whatever the quotient AL present in AL, transfer it to Q, and the remainder which is present in H, transfer to R. Now this is the another question asked in the manual. A plus B into C plus D. One procedure is written for that. A is transferred to AL, then perform addition AL and B, and addition is stored in AL. Then C is transferred to BL, then addition of BL and D means C plus D, then multiplication of. Now remember here, see the concept. One addition is performed, and first addition is performed, and addition result of addition stored in AL register. Second addition is performed, and second addition is stored in BL. Now we have to perform multiplication of first addition and second addition. So MUL BL. MUL BL means what? We are actually performing AL into BL, and result is stored in AX register. Means if it is 8-bit, then it is stored in AL. So we are assuming that it is in 8-bit register, and we transfer that to R. Then RET procedure will get, then procedure get ended by PROC1 end P. So when we call procedure, then procedure will get executed, and when we execute RET, jump exit will get executed. Okay, this is the output before execution of call. Output of this program, particular program, A plus B into C plus D. Before execution of call, just see what is the logic of procedure. IP value is 005. Here CS:005 before executing call. Okay, and stack pointer is 00. Stack pointer is 00. See, stack pointer is 00. Now after execution of call, stack pointer is get decrement by 2, that is -2. That will be a FFFEH. Change in the IP value. IP will now get the address of the instruction, address of the first instruction in the procedure. See, 00B, this is the first instruction in the procedure. 00B, IP value is 00B. Stack pointer get decrement by 2. Okay, before execution of RET, one by one instruction get executed in the procedure. So IP value is 001F. Okay, 001F, and stack pointer is as it was decremented by 2, so it is -2. FFFEH. After execution of RET, control will be retransferred to the location where it was transferred to the procedure. So control is at, so IP value will get its original value, that is 008, and stack pointer get increment by 2, -2 plus 2, now it will become 0. Okay, because we are performing pop operation when RET executed, and when we perform call instruction, then actually push operation will get performed. This is the exercise program, finding smallest number. We have actually seen this program in the experiment number 9, but that program, that particular instruction, we need to write inside procedure. Practical related question: which kind of a procedure you write in the program? For questions asked in the program, in the experiment, we have written near or intra segment type procedure. Then value of IP and SP before before executing call and after executing call. Before executing call, IP value 005 and SP 00H, and after executing call, IP value will get changed 00BH, and SP get decrement by 2, that is -2, that is FFFEH. Advantages of procedure is what? No need of extra memory will not get extended, because only control is transfer, so no need to extend your program. Other advantage is you can write specific task related instruction in one group and call that group of instruction by calling the procedure, and control will be transferred to that block, and again control will be regained when we execute RET instruction. These are the advantages. Less memory required, speed is fast. These are the advantages of procedure. Okay, I hope you understand this particular experiment. Very important experiment, experiment number 16. Then we will see experiment number 17. Very important and very simple point in the syllabus of microprocessor, macros. What is macro actually? Macro is nothing but what? Group of instructions for specific tasks. But when we call that macro, no control is transferred, no change in the control. Just the call to the macro, line for call to the macro will get replaced by the definition of the macro. The line which is used to call the macro will get replaced by the definition, the instruction, group of instruction that we write in the macro. That group of instruction will start executing when we call a macro. For example, when we call a macro, and macro definition is for 10 lines, 10 line of code. So when we call a macro, that one line will be replaced by 10 line of code. Which 10 lines? The lines which are written inside a macro. The lines which are written inside a macro. Suppose you have written 10 calls to the macro. So what happened? And one macro definition contains 10 lines of code. So your 10 lines will be replaced by 100 lines. Each call to the macro will be replaced by 10 lines of macro definition. So 10 lines of a macro will be replaced by, each line get replaced by 10 lines. So total 10 calls get replaced by 10 lines of a macro code which are written in the macro definition. So 100 lines will be there. 100 lines will get added in your program. So where we write macro, as we write procedure in the code segment, where should we write a macro? We should write a macro outside of the all segment. For convention, we write macro before starting a data segment. Before starting a data segment, we write macro. Okay. How to write a macro? Which directives are used? Macro directive, macro, and to end a macro we use directive endm. So how to write macro? Macro name space macro, macro name space macro, then list of parameters, n number of parameters you can pass. Parameters you can pass to the macro, and whatever the instruction that you write inside the macro you can write after that. And after writing all the instruction in the macro, you can end your macro by writing just endm. No need to write macro name, just write endm. Remember this. Okay. In case of a procedure, we are not allowed to pass procedure, we are not allowed to pass parameters directly, but here we can pass parameters directly to the macro. We can pass parameters directly. Okay. So how to call a macro? Just write a macro name, suppose macro 1, macro 2, macro 3, and pass values for the parameters. Suppose 3 parameters you write in the definition, then you need to pass 3 values for those parameters when you are going to call that macro. Macro name space value for parameter 1, value for parameter 2, value for parameter 3, and delimiter or separator between the parameters is comma. Okay, you understand this macro. So how macro get executed? When there is when there is a call to the macro. And one more addition, one more important point, there is no any special instruction as in case of a procedure to call, because in case of a procedure we need to execute call instruction, but here we don't have any special instruction, just write a macro name to call. Okay, no need to pass parameters in the general purpose register or stack memory. Here you can pass parameters directly in the macro. Only disadvantage of macro is that memory size will get increased. Memory size will get increased. How? Because one call to the macro will get replaced, that line of code for call to the macro get replaced by its definition. So number of calls are more. If number of calls in the procedure, if number of calls to the macro, if number of calls to the macro are more in your program, then your program size will get increased. Okay, see the example. I have written this macro with two parameter m1 macro n1 n2, just addition of number, move al n1, add al comma n2 endem. Whenever I call this macro, how to call macro name m1 n1 comma n2, the parameter n1 and n2 from data segment 10 20, so m1 get called, n1 is transferred to al, n2 is added to al, so whatever the addition that is stored in al register, that is 30. Okay, then macros for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. One macro for addition, one macro for division, one macro for multiplication, and each macro is taking two parameters n1 n2, and while calling those macros we need to pass value for those parameters. You can see m1 n1 n2 addition, m2 is for subtraction, m3 is for multiplication, m4 is for division. Okay, as where we defining procedure. Just remember, when we call a macro, this m1 n1 comma n2 will get replaced by these lines, move, add, these lines. Means the definition that we write inside a macro, means the instruction written inside macro and endem, the instruction written between macro and endem. Macro for a plus b into c plus d, a plus c plus a comma c, a b c d. I have written macro. One macro is for addition, one macro is for multiplication. Addition macro will be called two times. One is for addition of a plus b and one is for addition of c and d. Here you can see. And one macro, that is multiplication, m2, will be called only one time. m1 will be called two times with parameter ab and with parameter cd, and m2 will be called only one time. The result of first addition and the result of second addition get multiplied with each other, and the result is stored in ax. That ax result can be transferred to r. See the output. 8 3 6 4, 8 plus 3 11, that is b, 6 plus 4 10, that is a, that is r1 and r2. R1 R2, yes, R1 R2, and their multiplication 11 into 10 110, 110. So 6 into 16 96, 96 plus 14 110. This is correct. No change in the CSIP value. As you can see, every time you never seen call to the macro, because that call to the macro will be replaced by definition of the macro. Here you can see move al, then add, move, then again addition, and then it is, because this macro is for addition, 2 times will get called, and one macro is for multiplication that get called after addition of those a plus b and c plus d. Okay, practical related question. Advantages of macro I have already told you. Easy to handle, no need for any special instruction like call to call the macro. It is possible to pass parameters directly to the macro. It is simple, no need to take care of any stack operation, push and pop. Disadvantage is memory size is more, and speed of macro is not as much good as that of mac procedure. Use of macro and endem. Macro is used to define macro, and endem is used to end the definition of macro. So this is how experiment number 16 and 17 you need to study comparatively procedure and macro, so that you can understand what is the difference between procedure and macro, what is the difference between call and RET, what is the difference between near procedure and far procedure. All these points I have covered here. So I hope you understand this concept. Thank you.